All right, June 4th, Wiggins Farms. I'm going to go ahead and graft some walnuts today. Please enjoy the bobwhite quail in the background. If you are in southwestern Ohio, come join us at the Butler County Pheasants Forever. We have our meetings. We do some stuff with wildlife. They've helped me on my farm a lot. And it's not a hunting organization, it's a habitat organization. Before I get into the walnuts, I'll just show you what I mean. They helped me with some of this wildflower planting here. I've got some native species wildflowers and grasses. So I've got big blue stem, little blue stem, switchgrass, Indian grass. I wouldn't recommend Indian grass, it takes over. You got purple-headed coneflower, yellow-headed coneflower, and then there's a bunch of other things I could label. And a lot of that seed I worked with, they have a planter. Al Gerhardt there helped me plant all this about 12 years ago. And in the fall, staggering in the years, we bush hog or we burn, depending on what the property is recommended for, to control the woodies. As you can see right over there, there's some wood that's coming up. Them are silver maples. Some cedars in the background. I do allow little bits of cedar here and there for multiple reasons. And so back to this, if you've got honeysuckle, you don't want honeysuckle. This ain't honeysuckle. This is dogwood, I believe, a gray-headed dogwood. I'd have to verify, but see the flowers right there? This is native. By removing the honeysuckle, all the native species come in. And let's see here. Obviously that quail's in there somewhere, so he's enjoying it. I've seen about 10 today, so yeah, it's been pretty enjoyable to watch. Tighten that little screw up so I don't lose anything. The yellow lightning bugs really enjoy this. It's not the best for pollinators as far as honeybees go, but that's okay. I've got 4 other species that work together. Honeysuckle comes in, poisons the ground, leaves out first, leaves out last, kills everything, and makes a bare soil. And if people can take, let's say you have 1 acre lot and you've got a 1/4 acre of it that's getting taken over by honeysuckle, and you plant, let's say, 4 native species, and you keep the honeysuckle at bay, then you provide more biodiversity, which is better for the water, better for the pollinators, better for you, blah, 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 blah. This is a black walnut. I cut it a week ago, and as you can see right here is a little tiny bud, just a little tiny beautiful bud, just kind of germing out. And over here too, the reason you do that is because the sap of the walnut or of the jugulan species will kill the scion graft. This is the scion I have from England, down at England's nursery. Cliff, wonderful people. And this, I'll get into this in a second. But before I get into that, let's get into this. This is a couple years grafted now. This is a black walnut grafted. As you could tell right here, it was grafted by I think it's EH1. I'd have to look at my tags, my notes inside. I grafted about 10 trees with that variety, so actually I grafted about 20, but not every graft takes because walnuts are really notoriously hard to graft. It's getting shaded out by that honey locust, which is weird because the honey locust, let's go ahead and zoom into that baby. Look right up in there. Can you see the thorns? The thorns on that tree, matter of fact, right there. I don't know why they call it honey locust because it's black in color. The black locust, on the other hand, has the thorns way up on the thorns, up on the branches, none on the trunk, and it produces big, white, beautiful clusters in the spring. It's some of the most superb honey you can get. This tree does not produce a lot of nectar. It produces pollen, and the bees can use it, but unfortunately, those thorns are, well, you know, I had one staple my shoe to my foot a couple weeks ago, not fun. And they puncture tires. So that tree, because it is native, but because they take over, and there's literally, if not hundreds, maybe thousands of them on my property, little tiny ones, they will take over. So that tree is going to be turned into a dead stand. It will help for the doves come September. If you know, you know. And then other reasons they'll be left up for like woodpeckers and other species as I convert this woodlot into something more native. So right there's ash. Ash should be gone, dead out because of all the emerald ash borers, but somehow that one has become immune or not affected as much. And the ash borers took out 95% of the species in this area. However, some trees are now becoming resistant, is my understanding. And hopefully that tree survives. The tree left of it is a hackberry. You know, doesn't do a lot for me or for wildlife as far as I'm concerned. Neither does that ash, but the ash is good for morel mushrooms. They are native, they're not bothering me, they're staying in place. That thing has got to go. So that way, in time, this walnut here, as you can see how big it is, and that little one right there, grafted with the same variety, cultivar of juggling, it will produce nuts maybe next year, and I'm really looking forward to it. I probably need to put a T-post next to this because deer like to rub on trees. So once again, as you can see, I grafted right there. And over here, you can see where it was grafted right here. I forget why that broke over, but it did. I don't think it was a deer. Now, back to this walnut over here. So, I'm gonna go ahead and place this guy, because I don't wanna have to hold this. And I don't really even wanna be in the camera, but the information's valuable. So, let's see here, get my little notes. So this will be from England's Nursery. It is Dooley. It's a hybrid English walnut graft. It's a hybrid English walnut with a black walnut. I don't know why England put anyway. So what I'm going to do is graft these, and when I graft, I like to do 1, 2 buds per graft, so that way I have twice as much chance. But I've only got 4 on here, and I've only got 1 stick, so I'm going to graft it onto 4 individual trees. So, excuse me. So what I will do is come over here, and I don't have my tape. I'll need my tape. So whenever I'm grafting walnuts or any other kind of tree, I like to wear one of these because, and I'll show you on my hand. Let's see here. I had a razor go from here to here, and nothing says ow like sitting in the field by yourself and having to wait for your better half to come get you. And that's gotten cut, that's gotten cut, that's gotten cut. So you know what? If you graft enough trees, you will eventually, it's like motorcycle driving, you will end up eventually in the hospital. So let's see here if I can't pause this thing for a second while I look for my tape. My son's showing me how to do this. I don't see, there it is. Sweet. Okay, back to being on pause. I need my grafting tape. I've got my rubber bands. And I need my saw. And I'll tell you what, anybody that has any kind of land, get yourself a quality reciprocating saw. Get these little blades. Even if you're not grafting trees, that's the way to go. But this is surgery. So a little bit of peroxide. Neighbor's rooster. There we go. So, as I said earlier, the scion will kill the graft. And so I'm going to go ahead and just take this right here. Go ahead and place it against. Cut that. So I'll just throw that down. I had to clear out all this area here. A lot of honey, poison ivy, and some other walnuts. So let's see here. Then you have, we will place that right there. Surgery, surgery. Alright, now, because you can't make these trees bleed enough, I'm gonna give it a little cut. Just a little cut. I'm gonna come down here, give it a little cut. What I'm trying to do is release the pressure in this tree, because I can graft 10 apples and 9 of them will take. Maybe even 10, maybe even 11. Yeah. These things you graft 10, and if you don't do everything right, you'll get 0. You'll get 0%. So, now that I've cut this tree with this, I need to go ahead and treat this again. Being prudent. Okay. Take my little, and I think there's actually 2 buds right in each one, but don't hold me to that. So I will take this top bud, and there we go. And so there's that. Go ahead and put that over there. Let me make sure this camera's on a good angle so you can see everything. And I think I'll adjust it. You know what? I don't care if you see my face. I don't want you to see my face. So, get my razor blade out. New razor blade. Now, the question is, where do I want to graft this thing? I really don't want it growing out into the field. I want it growing into the woods, and then it'll straighten out. But if it goes out into the woods and for some reason it might get bumped, So come over here, and all I'm going to do is take this, and I'm going to just go straight up. And so to show you what I'm going to do is you just go straight up. But let's go ahead and put this back here, because there we go. All right. You ever seen Tool Time? I always really valued that neighbor, the actor. Good guy. Okay, so let's see here. I want to go, and then the bark should be slipping. Oh, dang it. The bark should be slipping, which means it should be able to pull away from the tree. So now what I'm going to do is just take it. See that bud? Other side. I'm going to take it and see how that's the inside of it. And so just keep going. I hope you can see that. Yeah, I'll put it over here. Okay, so just keep going. And you know what? I'm actually going to go a little bit more. Now you can see why you want these gloves. And you should always be cutting away from yourself, but you know, any Boy Scout knows that. Okay. Listen to them quail. Okay. Oopsies. And then I'm just gonna ignore that. That is spam. Okay. There we go. Slide that underneath the bark. And you want cambium touching cambium. All I'm trying to do is expose it to give it more surface area to that area under the bark. And once you do that, it holds itself. Okay, I'll let you see. Okay. So, and in 3 years, it'll look just like that other one. That one. And so, let's see here. Just go ahead and position that like so. And there we go. Gosh, I just love hearing them quail all day. They're not even released. They're naturally here. And with the proper habitat and predator management, they flourish. Back in the 70s, they were pretty much 95% of them, 99% of them, depending, 100% somewhere, were wiped out by a blizzard. And so one of the things that Butler County Pheasants Forever does is we promote putting out milo, planting like a half acre even, because I saw it this winter when we had that nasty weather. Those quail, just tens of there wasn't a square inch inside my milo patch that didn't have footprints on it, because those quail were just in there, and they're able to get away from the predators, they're able to get away from the environment, and they're able to get away from anything else that might bother them. And they have food, and the deer don't bother milo when it's growing like they do sunflowers. So all right, so see, I showed this earlier. So see how I got that held down? You go around once, you overline it, you overwrap it. See right here, I'm going right there. Now it's locked in, I can let go. But I'm going to do probably 2 rubber bands on this because it's such a big graft. And the benefit of this huge rootstock is the fact that it's going to now jump ahead. Oh, I don't even know how old this tree is. I have to look. I just cut it off. Let's see here. So if you look at a piece of wood, you count the rings. So now I don't have to wait those many years. Say I'm planting some little tiny stick-sized root. So this jumps me, 4 years. So now in 3 years I'll have production of a 9-year-old tree, roughly. So once again, I'm gonna take this guy off. I'm gonna use it again here in a second. Bob White. That's why they call him Bob White. So, cannot make this tight enough. Oh yeah. So when I'm not, my back isn't killing me, I'm able to come out here and do this and just, it pays dividends for the next, well, for as long as I'm gonna live. And that's it. So now we're gonna do the other one. And so I'll go ahead and position this camera like so. Let's see. Remember, we did surgery, so I just heard a quail. No, a mourning dove. Ouch. And then something else. So mark your trees. Mark your trees with tape. Get the good tape. ACE tape on Amazon's great. It lasts. That'll be there 2 years from now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'm gonna cut this. That will now force all those resources to go up to that graft, but everything's going to come over here, and it's going to drip out here. This will give me the resources I need for the root, and then come this time next year, I'll cut this whole branch off. So, getting back to, boy, he's only like 30 yards from me. Then, come over here. Every walnut you've ever eaten is off of a grafted tree. And most of them out in California, my understanding, are grafted onto a black walnut. So, I'm going to keep this branch. I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to go ahead and make some spots for it to bleed. I've seen them drill into these trees, all kinds of things. But, stay. There's a saying, I don't know if it was Socrates or Plato. I don't think it's from the Bible, but it says, good men plant trees for shade they'll never bear. Either way. So, back to this. Let's get back to that. So, there. Cut that off. We're going to stick this tape on that. Put this scion over here. If you want scion to try to graft your trees, get a hold of England's Nursery. And in 5 years, you can get a hold of me. Man, give all your business to them. Good people. So, once again, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go on the other side and cut. And I think I was going to do something else on this tree for grafting, but this one I can get away without a glove because I'm not cutting towards anything sensitive, hopefully. And so all I'm going to do, like that, see? Now I'm going to do something different on this one. The other one I cut almost all the way through. This one, I'm going to cut just a little bit because I like to experiment. That's all I'm going to go through. I'm not going to go through the center part until I get down to here. See that little inside spot? And I just want to try something. So, let's see here. Will that work? I think it will. So, let's see here. Okay. That should work. you have questions, you need to ask them in the comments, because this is repetitive to me at this point, but I've done it thousands of times, and I like thinking about things I've never thought about. So let's see here. Yeah. All right. Maybe dig through just a little bit more just to make it sit right. Cutting away from me. That's why I don't have the glove on. Choo-choo train in the background. Yeah. Everybody grafts trees differently, so the more you do it, you'll find what works for you. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Went from being winter to summer. And so you want to get this nice and seated, cambium to cambium. Once you get it started, it's really easy. Just getting it started sometimes can be a booger. Get in there. There we go, there we go, there we go. And wrap, wrap, wrap. And that's a wrap. Now the thing is, this paraffin tape might be on there till late, and you might have to help take it off, but that's okay. Don't use plastic. I've not had any luck with it. Maybe you will, but I haven't. So you can take it, stretch it, break it. Okay. Knock off these old buds that are trying to grow. And that's why you buy Dollar General rubber bands or cheap ones off Amazon. Okay, so I'm gonna do this twice. I'm gonna get another rubber band. Once again, let's do this. So put your thumb on like this. And I think Cliff showed me this at England's Nursery. Keep your thumb out. Now watch. Put that underneath. I can let go, but if I let go with this thumb, it'll unwind. You roll that down and move your thumb up, and it locks into place. So let me get another rubber band. As Mike Rose says, safety third. So you want to overlap the first round, and then you can go nuts. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Name that movie reference. That's it. So now you can see, I know this tree's been grafted because of the yellow tag. I'll make some metal tags to put on it, and that way I don't forget what it is. So there you go. Till next time. Bye-bye, see you.